Salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 43. I'm AJ.
I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
The 1933 Duesenberg could be yours for only $2 million.
Only two? Do you take Bitcoin? Steve, tell us a
I prefer
bit.
Dogecoin, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your Doozy experience.
While valeting an event at Quail Hollow yesterday, Mr. Felix Abadas of every other car dealership in Charlotte rolls up in this thing, which is bigger than a Suburban. And now I want a creamsicle since the car is orange with white fenders. It was bonkers McTavish and lovely, and it took a moment for me to get the drool wiped off of it.
That was not, it had also the correct pedal setup.
Yes.
So it had the stick, and was that the most expensive car you've ever driven?
Didn't drive it. He rolls up and it's like, I let you park it, but you don't have to drive it. Like, fair enough. Like, I love a crash course in it, but I fear the phrasing of this is wildly incorrect.
Jeez, yeah, I've never seen a Doozy, and if anybody, if you wanted to know where the slogan "That's a Doozy" came, it's from the Duesenberg. So not only
it was like, I thought it was like a bad thing. It's like, no, it's just more of a wow factor thing, just the sheer presence of this car.
Yes. Well, Steve, in honor of the Doozy and Mr. Felix Abadas on his old commercials, what are we drinking today?
We've got a Blue Mountain Barrel House Dark Hollow. Sounds like the inside of myself.
And I will tell you a little bit about my trip to Total Wine today to get that after you tell everyone a little bit about the Dark Hollow.
Don't tell me about your...
And not your heart.
Your intelligence that's artificial. Dark Hollow. The mystery of great beer challenges the spirit of adventure in all who seek a higher level to its ancient brew. Dark Hollow blends the miracle of two crafts, brewing and distillation, to create a work greater than the sum of its parts. Our Imperial Stout has been aged in charred American oak bourbon barrels, patiently breathing in and out of the wood, gaining complexity, depth, and character. Blue Mountain Barrel House was founded by the creators of Blue Mountain Brewery, Nelson County, VA. Barrel House also resides in Nelson County, where the woods are deep, the mountains are bold, and great beer flows through the land. Great style of our exquisite original beer. 10% ABV. BlueMountainBrewery.com.
Void where prohibited by law. Steve, let's do it.
Oh my.
10%. Those are the dangerous ones. The dark and creamy and chocolatey and sweet ones are always dangerous because you'll go, hey, this is great. And then the entire bottle's gone, and then you don't know where you are anymore.
It's October, so it's spooky month. So why not listen to more of The Damned? So are we going to wait for the blackout?
Jesus. Yep, so saw Allen Iverson again at Total Wine. I was like, back again? He goes, yep.
Nice.
Just like that, and I kept going. And then he threw his wallet to his handler and walked to CVS to get something. And he threw his wallet over my car, which is easier to do in the car that I was driving. And he actually did check the S2K out, too. Hey, you want to buy it? I'm sure you got enough money in your pocket to buy it on site.
It's like either that or like take him for a ride in it.
That would be the coolest ever story.
Yeah, trouble is he wanted to go top down. Off. A little bit complicated.
Well, he had his boys with him, so I'm sure he pays them well enough to stand there with a 40-pound hardtop while me and the answer go for a drive around Charlotte top. But that I could die a happy man. That would be fucking cool as hell. Steve, do we want to start with cars? Do we want to start with bars? Or do we want to start with guitars? Shall we go in the order of the title of the show?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Let's do that. Cars. So Mr. Steve and I have decided we're going to do surprise performance vehicles.
Also known as sleepers. One of my it's like my favorite practice.
I thought yours was lack of sleepers. Lately.
Sleepies.
Well, Steve, the ones that I could come up with, and feel free to chime in whenever you want, but the first one I had listed was the Buick Grand National.
Totally, since it looks just like a 79 Regal.
That's right. So that body style of Regal was late 70s to basically the late 80s, almost unchanged. And to the so we're doing cars like to the untrained eye, like not people like us, or people who listen to this and listen to us dribble on, but like to your average person would look at the car and never guess in a million years that it was like a sporty, sports-oriented vehicle. I definitely had the Grand National on mind. Did you happen to make a mental note of ones or?
Basically, sleeper cars of that ilk were in mind, but no explicit list.
I got you. And then I had Dodge Omni GLH.
Goes like hell.
Correct. Same 2.6 liter turbocharged and intercooled 4-cylinder that was found in the Starions and Conquests.
Oh, so it's going to be akin to my '89 Volks GTI 16 valve that was a quick rabbit.
Yep. And fun story, the GLH was faster in a straight line than the Starion and the Conquest because it was
1,900 pounds.
Yes.
It's made of helium.
Yes. I have pretty much every Subaru XT.
Yeah.
So that
those be all even the XT model itself, the wedge one.
Mm-hmm. Did they make an Baja? Did they make an XT Baja? Or
Yes,
was it
they
just
did.
Okay, so it was called the Baja
you had
XT.
the Baja XT, Outback XT, Forester XT, and then the 80s shoehorn, doorstop XT.
I also have on here Tesla.
Yeah.
You would never guess that it was faster in a straight line than almost every car you've ever ridden in, driven, or seen. But it clearly is. Something about that 100% torque right off the line.
I mean, given the naming schemes for these cars, you think Elon had only watched Spaceballs, and that's okay. I'm surprised he hasn't released his own scooter yet, but Vespa's already taken.
What about if he released his own Spaceballs movie?
Go on.
He needs to get into the the film industry. God, did you watch his Rogan interview?
Listened to about the first half of it, and that was the wrong thing to listen to that day. About fell asleep.
Yeah, it was more interesting to watch it because you could see because Joe asked him if he could ever turn it off in his brain, like the constant, and he said no, he can't turn it off, and you could actually see a little bit in his eyes about I can't.
It looked like
it
a
off.
couple of slot wheels spinning. It was very strange.
No, Matchbox. Oh, slot wheels. I have the Ford Taurus SHO. Preferably the squarer one rather than the bug eye. The bug eye was... Well, you could...
It still looked like a rejected jelly bean, but
True.
by then it had a V8, so there's that.
It did have a V8, but it was front-wheel drive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sideways V8. Only cool if it's in the back of your car, I guess.
Whatever works.
Well, no, they mount them... they mount them... No, I guess it depends. Because the Lamborghini V12s are longitudinally mounted, but they're rear-wheel drive. Or all-wheel drive. Whatever. It's been a long fucking day.
Geometry wasn't my strong suit. Car of engine, cargo fast, good.
Cargo space? No. Car no-go space.
Cargo road.
Cargo road. The Nissan Sentra SER.
Yep.
I used to really want one of those. And casually still kind of do.
I had a coworker that had one of the 03 models with Nissan's version of the VTEC 8K engine.
Yep. What is their nomenclature for that? Don't know. I think it had a really long, silly name. Well, Mitsubishi's was
instead of
Maybach.
just it just becomes the Spec V.
Yep, and yours is VVTi.
Yep.
Honda's is VTEC. I
don't see what early cordless telephones have to do with this.
Well, if you ask some people on the interweb, it's still spelled that way, and that makes me barf inside every fucking time. The Volvo 850R wagon.
Yep.
That you could get in a stick.
If I had $sign meatballs, I'd totally get one of those. Car cheap. Car not cheap to keep running, as evidenced by my first two cars.
That's
so it's
right.
kind of a mixed blessing. I crashed the first one.
Yeah, Steve was a substitute teacher in his first iteration of cardom.
Hell yeah, Sweden.
Give me one of your sleepers, and I'll see if it's on my list because I just went down my first column.
A CTSV.
I did not have that on there actually.
Because then unless you're listening to it, hey, it still looks like a Cadillac.
Yeah. So keep it going. See if we got this. See if some more correspond.
The Trailblazer Super Sport.
I didn't have that one on my list. That's a good one.
That was the chariot of choice for the gentleman at the dealership I bought the second Tacoma from.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, it'll pass anything but a gas station." I think he said it was averaging 14 miles to the gallon in that thing.
Oof.
It's like a 6.0 V8 in it.
You have a license plate that says gas sipper, which is the garage my dad used to go to. They had a Geo Metro convertible, and that was the license plate.
That's a rare bird.
Gas, a very rare bird.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to raise you a Paseo convertible.
That's just as rare. I think I've probably seen both with equal consistent.
About as many of those as Duesenbergs, huh?
Never seen a Doozy in person.
I figured, like, this is probably the only time I'm going to see one of these in the wild this side of a museum.
And Thomas's mother had a Trailblazer regular model. And I'll be honest, man, that thing was very comfortable. And nice on the inside.
My boss has a 05 Envoy, and it's got 200K on it, and he still really likes it.
GM gets it right every now and then. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. From basically 1985 to 2010, they all had that just horrible green basic glow of the instrumentation and just that font. Just it was fucking garbage.
It was utilitarian, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean the Jeep has a greenish white glow to it too, but it doesn't look as cheap as that one did.
Yeah.
It's just very calculator. It looks like a TI 2. Let's see what else you got.
A Merc Marauder.
I saw that on a list, and yes, I agree with it. I didn't write it down, but I had a feeling we were going to.
Not that a standard G Mark is going to be a slouch, but at least this time you could pretend the handle in it.
Correct.
That or the 96 Imp SS.
I had that one. Yeah, I had that one on there, and I always loved those. And then if you look at the interior now, it's so plain.
Yeah,
it's so fantastic. Hey, do you want your interior gray or gray?
Sounds about like my car. I think it came black and then eventually a gray interior option. Saab 92X Aero.
Yeah.
So there is the standard 92X that was I think they were both WRXs and Saab drag, but the Aero was the quicker of the two.
The Subaru. Actually, every Saab is basically a sleeper because they all fucking get up and go.
Yeah, like dating back to the mid-'70s with the 99 turbo, that really set the stage for their styling through their demise.
Yeah, I always loved the way they looked. I mean, they were always wrong-wheel drive, but I am still glad I didn't buy that 9.3 era all-wheel drive, but it would have been an entertaining car to have.
Yeah.
Remember, Clarkson tested the 9. I was looking for a 9.5. I just like the way the 9.5 looks better. The 9.5 will go.
The last of those is really pretty.
Yeah, that's the one. So it would. Clarkson did a review of it, and it would do 50 to 80 faster than a Porsche 911 Turbo of the same year. It's ridiculous. If you can get used to turning your key down near your thigh. So if you have your drink and you spill your drink in the ignition.
It's kind of a funny idea now that nowadays with new dumb cars having the buttons instead. Would it be the ignition button down next to the parking brake now? Of course, now Audis and Volkswagens are doing that a bunch. It gets very confusing bouncing between cars. Like, all right, either it's going to be on the right side of the steering wheel like it should be, or the left side of the steering wheel, or it's somewhere else on the dash, or it's in the console, or I've yet to see it, it's on the ceiling. It's on the steering wheel. What the hell, Ferrari?
Or the new C7 Corvettes, where you don't have to put the key in at all. You just have to have it in your pocket. And
right. Well, that's what I mean. You have to have the key mote, the fob.
It also has a
push. But it's just the remote. Yeah, it's like, oh, good, because turning a key was so difficult to get your car started.
Yeah, it also has a push-button parking brake, too.
Yeah, those are dumb.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That really makes controlling your slide difficult. Coming soon, the anti-lock e-brake for this very purpose.
No, it's a lot less dramatic when you're doing an e-brake slide. It's, click.
Just moving the switch back and forth. You gotta put that on a lever.
Jesus. No, you know what? If you're gonna do it, harken back to the old days of parking brake and have it be a foot pedal operated button.
Oh yeah, the original dual clutch transmission. So you had the 4 pedals.
Yes.
Like the Baby Raptor I borrowed.
The Dodge truck had that. No, the Dodge truck had a big fucking handle for a parking brake that was like the size of that bottle, and then you would pull up on it, and it actually took, you could lift weights with it, and you'd click into place.
Or like the ones in the Tacomas were this handle that pulls out of the dash, and then you have to pull it and twist it to retract it. Well, that really made sliding in it difficult.
Well, I mean, you didn't take it on many slides, though.
Usually it's a matter of the back end weighs nothing, and it's been slightly rainy. Just gun it. There's not much power, but it was fun nonetheless.
What else you got for us?
The Mazda Speed 3 and 6.
I had
Too
both.
bad there was no such thing as a Mazda Speed 5.
Yeah? What about a Mazda?
I think Car and Driver tried to build one and discovered that's way more difficult because the wiring was entirely different. Never mind the engine's the same.
Yeah. There needs to be a Mazda Speed CX-5. That would be groovy.
That looks like an exciting way to flip over.
Mazda Speed all the Mazda cars.
Yes. Mazda Speed Miata. It's why isn't that still a thing?
I know. Did you see the size of the intercooler on that model? It was this big.
For those not in the know, he gestured about the biggest iPad, so still not big.
No bigger than your smallest textbook in high school, when it should be much bigger than that. I'll bet those are fun, and I'll bet they probably go for a fairly pretty penny on the used market last time I checked.
Last I checked, it wasn't that extreme over a standard, what was it, second series, the NB, that they had that?
Yeah, that was an NB. A non-NA-NB. That'd be your license plate on that. Non-NA-NB. What else?
Shit's not an NA because it's an NB. It's a New Brunswick.
I like North America. What else you got, Esteban?
The king of them all. What was it? The Holden Commodore or Monaro that became the Chevy SS here.
And the G8. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Those. Which
Why are
you
you
can
so
get
excited
about
looking at a Malibu? Not a Malibu,
under
Mom.
sub 5 second 0 to 60 times. Outrageous for a car that big. R63 AMG.
Yes.
Talk about a rare bird.
I think there were all of 200 sold.
In the world, right?
Yeah. 70 made it here.
Good luck finding one of those in the wild.
Yeah.
I had Cyclone and Typhoon.
Natch.
Which would still be a blast to have now, in all their rattly GM glory. I have 3 more on my list, and I'm done because we've overlapped a little bit. So I'm going to finish out my list, and then we can keep going and see what I forgetted. Neon ACR.
Yeah. And
the SRT4.
Yeah, I gotta say, both iterations. That second one, woof.
Yeah. Though the first one was actually plucky.
The Neon wasn't a bad-looking car, whereas the Caliber was atrocious. But at least you could get an ugly car that goes fast.
True. Yeah, because the Neon ACR wasn't fast in a straight line, but it was super light. It was pretty rev-happy, and it was very chuckable. It was very popular in the autocross cars before. But if you didn't want a Miata, basically, and you wanted cheap, fun transportation, I had a Ford Lightning.
I think the Neons of the first gen were probably the last cars with really thin A-pillars.
Yep.
Apparently, if you rolled one, you're just dead.
Oh,
you're just super dead.
I see your Miata thin A-pillar and raise you
the
last generation.
The Neon.
The Neon. I see your Neon and I raise you the last generation of Integra. It was like an inch of A-pillar. Like, if you rolled it, you're
And
probably
that
going to
doesn't
die.
quite qualify for sleeper, and it's Type R drag, since that
Fair.
park bench spoiler is a dead giveaway.
Did you? One got $73,000 on Bring a Trailer.
I'm going to set this down before I drop it.
Yeah. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong, man. I do love the Integra Type R. And it had low mile. I mean, it had like 1,500 miles on it, and it was in championship white, which is the color that everybody who likes Hondas likes. They like the white cars, me included. Honda does the white car. And then I thought I wanted a white Viper, early model Viper, and then I saw it in white, and I'm like, doesn't look that good in white, to be honest.
Love it or hate it, that way you can see all the shaping and undulation in it.
Yep. But I had the Ford Lightning on mine, whichever generation you want.
Last of the squares and the first of the rounds. So, yeah, I think that lasted all, 2 gens?
Yes.
Which trounced the Chevy SS 454 that it was a big engine, but not a quick revving engine.
7.2-liter V8 in that, which for those keeping track at home and are old school is a 427. But I will say the SS looked better. I always liked the way the Chevy trucks looked better than the Fords. My buddy Josh Hagler had a Lightning, and he updated the supercharger and everything on it. It was running like high 11-second quarter miles.
Oh, wow.
He said it was stupid. It was stupid how fast and rattly. Like,
yeah.
After about $120, it just really started to get like scary. And then the last one, and I know you didn't even have this on your radar, it was the Neon ACR before it was a Neon ACR, the Dodge Spirit RT.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the last of the Turbo K cars.
Yeah, yep. Oh, yeah. Just plain Jane driver's ed mobile.
It looks like the box it came in.
Yes. That's all I had on mine. For
what it's worth, BMW M cars are pretty sneaky as well. Like, but beyond the flared fenders, you're not really going to be able to tell, being John Q. Walker by, yeah, it's BMW. What's it got?
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because Savage Geese, who the only people that like him are people who like nerdy car stuff, so us. He is kind of dry, but it's pretty entertaining. But he was saying that platforms are better when it's a dedicated platform, because he said he doesn't like driving M cars as much as like a BMW M3. He doesn't like it as much because it underneath everything it's a base 3 Series. He said so a dedicated platform always makes a better like track car.
Like,
if on a street, you're not going to notice the difference, but on a track, that's why S2Ks and Miatas do, and the C5 Z06 Corvettes, they still do really good because that's a dedicated platform for what it is, whereas BMW puts all the extra shit on the base 3 Series and makes it the M3. So it was interesting to hear that
it's got the better parts on a better platform than said Dodge Spirit souped up. It's going to be cheese whiz on your...
Oh, God. Oh, muzzle top. That's okay. I just poured way too much booze in that. That's okay. It's my
Can't wait to
table.
the bath anyway.
It's my table. So, oh no. I mean, I can paint it.
I think a Clorox wipe will do for now.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm not. Of all the things to spill beer in this room,
that's the things are the lowest right here.
But you're the highest.
But also, heyo, the Lexus ISF was effectively GS engine shoehorned into the IS that they tacked on a few extra bits and you made go fast car. Like, turned out pretty good, but also not a dedicated platform for that, since that was late in the cycle of the second gen ISs.
Yeah. But yeah, if on the street, you're not going to notice the difference. Like, I mean, most of us,
I think you're going to notice it going faster.
Hey, fair. That, but as far as like
you were saying,
like most your layman, like steering feel being a certain way or the way the car tracks or body roll, most people don't really care that much. But nerds like us do. Nerds unite. Yeah, Mark invited me to VIR. And I was like, yeah, you already knew the answer to that, but thanks for the invite, man. I don't. I have too much of an addictive personality to get involved with that sort of thing. But I almost went up to Godspeed Motors up near where most of our friends live, off of Back Creek, or not Back Creek Church, Prosperity Church.
Is that where
Road
that band
area.
You Black Emperor plays?
Yes.
That's the thing you're not listening to.
They have 3 cars I was interested in driving to see if I liked. And one I didn't even realize was on my radar until I looked at it. So one was a C7, and then the other one was a Cayman, and the other one was a 2014 Jag F-Type.
Oh, dear.
With a stick.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. In orange with
Was
black wheels.
it rear or all-wheel drive?
Rear.
Nice.
Supercharged V6.
Yep. Because they only sold the Super 6s with sticks in those, and I think
problem with
that now that F-Type in current form is not newly dead, much like the Tacoma, actually. You can't buy a stick Tacoma in the 2020 model year.
No shit. That's not surprising, to be honest. Most people that buy any new car, period.
Yeah.
I think the last car you could only get with a stick was a Viper.
Sounds about right.
Yep, they never made an
unless it's like a
made one.
trim model. Like my first gen 5 GT is stick only, but the second gen wasn't.
Mm-hmm. S2000s were stick only. Vipers were stick only. I can't think of many cars that were only offered with a manual transmission. Plenty of them are only offered with automatics, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I like to call them stillborns.
Yeah, but as far as like a dedicated car, not just trim level, because I was thinking like the 500 Abarth is only stick, but you can get a regular 500 with a
and I think those
Italian slush box.
I think
sounds like a sex move.
Heyo. I think the 500 is about to be pulled out these shores.
I mean, how many do you?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's one running around Mint Hill, a black Abarth with a license plate that says Mini Enzo. It sounds great because it doesn't come from the factory with mufflers. So just cats and straight pipes, and there you go. That's what you get, and it sounds great. It meets emissions. I mean,
all right.
And plus, it's turboed. So when you cut the mufflers off of a turbo car, your turbos kind of act like your muffler. I mean, it muffles the sound. It's pushing everything out instead of just hearing. So, I mean, I didn't have mufflers on the Conquest. And
some turbo cars sound better than others, but
true.
We've been there discussed that wet fart noise, BMW.
Yep. Let's see. I think that I was trying to think of like one more good sleeper car, but we've got them covered pretty good. Oh, but I will say that the problem with the Cayman is the base model is just now in my price range, and I'd rather have the S.
Apparently, yeah. If you can get an S, get an S.
Get the S, yeah.
I mean, if you want a Porsche for Porsche's sake, get a 924, and then woof. There is currently a 1990 944 convertible for sale on Craigslist for $8,000.
I am kind of anti-convertible.
Says the man with the convertible.
I know.
With a big asterisk, but yes. A $5,000 asterisk. That's an expensive aluminum can you got there.
You can kiss my asterisk. I know, but I don't know. Like the C7 and the Jag interiors look suspiciously similar. If you look at it, they have the grab handle right there and everything. The Jag though, it has the smaller engine. It has less horsepower. It's slower, but it does have the greatest exhaust note of any V6 engine ever made, and it's a Jag. But the downfall
and
of
now
that
at
is
5 years old, it's out of warranty. So whatever you spend on the car, you better set that same money back aside to keep it running.
Yep. But knowing how much I drive my toys that I have, it's not like
it might be perfect.
Parts are not going to wear out too badly, actually. And Evoras are still unobtainium, and I'll be honest, Lotus is they kind of do the Fisher Price interiors also. Out of all the England,
yeah, I think the latest Evoras have stepped that up, but then you're still looking at six figures.
Ugh. Yeah,
and the one guy I know with an Evora lives in New York now, so it's not like I can
the perfect
borrow
place
his.
for it. Wait, what?
I think he had an Evora, a Miata, and He used to live at Lake Norman, but he also had a Tundra, but it was in New Mexico from a previous dwelling, because that makes sense.
Interesting. But no, I'm cross shopping things that nobody else ever will cross shop ever again. So,
You're gonna have the weirdest Cars.com ads pop up on your Google stalking.
Pop up because my phone's
There
been
you
listening. Godspeed Motors also has a 1991 Honda Beat.
Nice.
Would it be funny as hell if Emily came home and there's just a smaller Honda convertible sitting at the back?
You could fit both of them in the garage, right?
I could absolutely. I could fit all three. I could fit the Jeep and both of our Hondas now in the garage.
Oh, I was thinking the
tried.
S2000 with the Beat behind it in the garage.
You could probably park a Beat sideways in front of it and behind it and still close the door. Those are fun little cars, but they are little cars.
Yep.
And I think 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
1 liter?
Those are K cars, so
No, it's
2/3 of a liter.
that's right.
I think
It's
the
like,
cutoff was 660cc for those. Everyday Driver did a couple of them, and it's real funny seeing Paul fit inside of it because
6'4", isn't
yeah,
it? You know what? I would bore it out.
he looked like Shaquille O'Neal in that Buick ad. Like he had his knees up to his chin in the car.
I would build the motor and I would bore it .006 over, so I'd have a .666 cc engine. Tiny devil. No, dirt devil.
And then he had to pick up a CBR just to have something with a bigger engine.
I still throw around getting the Honda the hatchback that comes with the Motocompo
The
motorcycle.
Honda City 2 Turbo.
City 2 Turbo.
I almost got one of those in Matchbox form the other day.
You should. Does it come with a bike in the back of it?
I need to pay better attention to the collection sitting to my right now.
Well, for those of you wanting to donate to the cause, that would be so cool. Like to just in traffic or something, just pull over and then just get your bike out and just finish the trip. If you ever run out of gas, you can just take your bike and get more gas in it. Yep. Casually cross-shopping things that I'm probably not going to do anything with, but still fun to...
Running out of gas, what are you talking about? I just got 34 miles on my last 34 miles to the gallon on my last tank.
No way. Yep, personal best is 25 in the Jeep. I never hypermiled the S2K because I don't ever drive it.
That would be interesting to see.
You could probably get 30. You could probably get 30.
It probably have to be all back roads, though. Like, if you... take 49 up to Lexington instead of 85...
God, that would take a while.
An hour either way.
Yeah.
When I went to Brad's bachelor party back in June, I got 35 in the car since that was all back roads.
And I didn't make
34, I'm baffled. Did it have something music?
Yeah,
as per usually. That was a fun day.
Yeah.
You would have melted, though.
Oh, that's another reason I didn't go. Because tacking, or 85 miles per hour, I'm tacking about 4,600 RPM.
I think by that point, I'm only doing 4.
Yeah. But it never sounds strained. Like, the Jeep sounds like World War XVIII.
It gets wheezy over 3K.
Yeah. But no, it just never sounds that strained. Second gear in a second gen Viper goes to like 81 miles per hour or something.
That's how you put down some crazy 0 to 60 times if you don't have to shift that second time.
Yep. Dump the clutch and good tires and just to hold on.
Yep.
Hold on very tightly. Gear swaps are very popular with those. It makes it a lot better because most people, they say, don't even use sixth gear unless they're on the interstate, and even then it's optional.
Colin's Mustang going down the interstate in fifth of 5 gears, 70 miles an hour, is tacking 1,500. That was geared really tall.
Yep, C7 at 70 is 1,300 in 7th gear.
That's how you get 30 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. No, you can get 40. You can get 40 mpg. Well, it has cylinder deactivation too, but which a lot of people take the fuse out of that, and the skip shift. It has that fucking horrible skip shift. You know what I'm talking about? So in the Corvettes, I think from C6 on, And it's not Corvette specific. But there's a couple other cars, and I would
But
have
if
to
you
go
want to
back.
skip shifts, you could just do that on your own.
Well, what it does is unless you're over a certain RPM, if you go from first, it'll make you shift into fourth for fuel economy, and that gets you around the gas guzzler tax.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, so they put that in there. So and you have to really be granny shifting it to get it to go into that. But it does that to say you have to be over a certain RPM and throttle level, or it'll go straight into fourth. But a lot of people just disable it. So cause all you got to do is pull the fuse. I mean, they did it to make their gas guzzler tax exempt, but they made it easy to deactivate.
Nice. Yeah, it's like, well, we had to do this, but hey, once the car's in your hands, wink.
Yeah, that's not going to be voiding your warranty.
What do you mean? It's been there the whole time.
I even thought, and my stance on buying a brand new car, but I thought there would be some value if somehow
You could pick up a
brand
C7.
new C7 in the color I wanted, with the interior I wanted, and hold on to the last manual transmission front wheel drive.
Go try again.
Wait a second here.
Yeah,
front
a front drive vet. Good luck.
Driving backwards, man, everywhere. But I thought
What'd you do? Put a stick in my Alante.
Those were front wheel drive, weren't they? God
That was
damn.
the standard Cadillac drivetrain of the early '90s,
With 50,
except for the Fleetwood.
58 buttons on the center console.
Goodness.
Yes. But I thought there would be some value in that, like having a low mileage C7, the last, front engine, rear drive, manual transmission car, especially in a good color, but that shouldn't happen.
Probably white, red, black, any of the plainer Janer ones.
I would go white.
But yes, this is my atomic bright yellow vet.
With a red interior. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Steve,
You said good burger awful funny.
That was on TV the other day, along with The First Mummy and fucking the show Sister's Sister. I woke up from my nap.
What year is
what
this?
What the fuck year is it right now? Oh my god. So
Billy Zane's a sexy bitch in The Mummy.
You know what? I mean, that's not,
Oh wait, I said Rachel Weisz wrong.
I always thought Rachel Weisz looked like a British Britney Spears.
I'll allow it.
I will too, baby. How were you supposed to know? So I'm out of sleepers for right now. I'm sure one will come to me at 3 a.m. when I'm getting up to take a piss.
I guess the the Trackhawk Grand Cherokee? That's going to look a little more raucous than your average Jeep.
That is true, and I did roll by a Hellcat Challenger today, and I gave him a thumbs up, and he gave me a thumbs up too. So stretched the car's legs a little bit. Steve, good news in the beer world. Costco is now selling a 24-pack Advent calendar.
No, it's really funny.
What?
That's not the first I've heard that today.
Really?
Because my sister got me the same thing last year, and then she sent me that earlier today too. That it's back. Yeah,
Okay.
I got that last year. That's why I got the random German beers for Pod back in December.
That's right.
It was like, here's beers number 13, 14, 15, 16 of it or whatever.
That was a year ago. I forgot about that.
Just about, and they were fantastic.
They were. It's almost enough to make us religious. Just kidding.
I was going to say almost festive.
Yeah, so before we do more beer news and such, I think we should,
We should make our own beer news.
get some more beer. Yeah. I've got, I bought that bottle we just had, and then I bought the top right one. It's some kind of stouty, chocolatey thing. I bought the cider, and then I bought something White Russian Nitro. But I don't think we should have something like that right after a dark beer.
Well, it's going to be loud enough to knock you down.
I've
got a crazy-ass looking sycamore can. You want to try that out?
Sure, fucking
All
grab
right.
it. So, Dark Hollow, Steve, is it good enough to go in the Hall of Fame, or was it just good? I'd just say it was just good.
Just good.
Yep, okay. So, before the last after the last podcast, I downsized my amplifier cabinet from a 412 to a vertical 212, and it got shipped here, and it was in fantastic shape. And then I get it, and the speaker was broken on the inside, and psychedelic flow, nice. And the wheels were bent, so I ordered 2 new wheels from Mesa, which was $60 for 2 caster wheels. And I had to order a new vintage 30 speaker, but now all is well because everything sounds groovy. And a guy's coming down from Asheville, I think, Sunday after I get back from Raleighwood, visiting in-laws, and he's going to pick up the 412.
Because somebody with what car is turning how old?
Something like that. Steve, what are we drinking?
The Sycamore Psychedelic Flow, and the can totally represents this.
Should we rinse the glasses or fuck it?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, me either. We can get the flavor profiles. That makes us sound fancy. Look at all that head. I ain't seen that much head since before I got married.
This is one way to keep the beer going if I just make it all fizz.
I do like Sycamore's beers. I don't like Sycamore's tap room. Because nobody does.
All crowds all the time?
No, it's not the crowd that bothers me, although I don't like, unless I'm playing, I want to play for a crowd, but I don't want to like be around a crowd. Their bar room area, there's never any lines. You just stand in a place and then
eventually you'll be selected.
Yes, it's a weird, like, it's a weird lottery system. Steve, tell them what you brought.
The Sycamore Psychedelic Flow India Pale Ale, weighing in at 6.9 Snicker ABV.
Oh, they put a period in between it, though. That's interesting. A bloody 69.
Story of my week. Take a happy trip. It's time to fly. Double dry hop with the good stuff. This Psychedelic Flow. Relax. Unwind. Please recycle.
Do I have to do it in that order? Cheers again.
What would Greta do?
Oh, that's mighty fine.
That's a very IPA.
That's a mighty fine IPA. In more beer news, R&D Brewing Company from Raleigh, North Carolina, has started a beer called Storm Brew, and is the official beer of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Ooh,
and that's interesting because if you wanted to have an official beer of the Hornets here, you'd have to have the can in the shape of an L for losing. And that pains me to say that because Michael Jordan's such a cheapskate. He does not want to spend any money on the Hornet. I think he just wanted to be an owner. It makes me very sad. I want to see the Hornets win. Everybody wants to see the Hornets win. It makes me sad. What do you think the official beer of the Panthers should be called? Because that one's Storm, and that's Hurricanes.
I figured No Doubt's Roaring Riot wasn't far off.
That is true. So I guess we do need... They need to make one called Sting, then, for the Hornets. Although it would have a picture of Sting on it.
Or that would be the women's team.
They got stung, like, back in early 2000s. They got...
Kiboshed.
That, yes.
Because that's how much I know.
Well, you could have Sting dressed like Hugo the Hornet.
Go on.
Fuck the police. Fuck the police.
Nah, dude. That's already been done. Do what Doug Benson said. Fuck Sting, because fuck the police has already been done.
I listened to... have you been listening to any of the Dr. Drew After Darks?
No.
Oh my God, they're great. They're really good. Brad Williams has been on it. Yakov Smirnoff was on it.
Yeah, you were telling me about that yesterday.
Yes, he was on it. And then Doug Benson was on it. It's fucking groovy. In other news, Yingling and Hershey's chocolate have merged. They've created a new chocolate beer. I'm not sure what a Yingling would taste like with chocolate in it.
Probably... like a more chocolatey black and tan, which is my first legal 6-pack.
What was your first illegal 6-pack?
Killian's.
I think mine was High Life. By the way, I was drinking boatloads of High Life at the place in Mooresville we were playing at. Normally, I turn down 4-hour shows, but it paid good, and we'd never played there. And we were like, well, we can turn it down, or we can go see if it's any fun. If we want to go back, it's worth the drive. It's totally worth the drive because it kind of looks like a more steampunk Little Roberts place on the inside.
And you said that was from guy that used to run Tremont?
Yeah, the guy that owns it ran Tremont, and it had like the old mixing boards and like the old subs and some of the speakers and shit that we could have used. We always run our own sound.
This
there.
reminds me, I never did see Sound City.
Me either.
Jonah?
Here's another fun fact. I'd never been to Tremont before. I never saw a show at Tremont.
It's a big pile of dirt right now.
True. Yeah, I can't retroactively go see a show. I never saw a show at Amos's, but I did play one there. So
Saw some there too.
gotcha. Now the Fillmore.
Amos is reopened.
They did, but I don't know where.
I think right where it is.
No shit.
Yeah, it wound up not getting bulldozed, so them and the gin mill are still there.
No way. Well,
I was over that way last week for an event.
I've tried to get into the gin mill a million times, and it seems like they just keep changing management, and shit just keeps going ever which way, but I don't know what.
So maybe just go there to drink instead.
I should, and then just go pester them about music, like, in person instead of
There you
via
go.
email. Like, hey, are you tired of booking the same 5 fucking acts and then wondering why nobody goes to your fucking bar anymore? And then other news. Steve, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something you know way more about than I do.
My Lord and Savior, the Stig.
That, but Oktoberfests. Not the beers, but the actual Oktoberfests.
Basically, if it's got Oktoberfest on it, drink it.
No, I'm talking about the actual German, like the origins of what Oktoberfest is.
Okay.
I don't know as much about that as I should. I do know it's a beer festival, and I know it's in Deutschland. Other than that,
It's in BMW's hometown of Munich, Germany, originating 200 years ago as a fall festival, and as the years have gone by, it's probably going to be starting in August, for all I care, very soon.
just much like the time we get Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Then it would be July-Toberfest, sure.
July Fest, yes. So it just started out as a regular, like a fall sort of.
But basically a harvest holiday, and now it's a huge event in southeastern Germany with 1 million visitors a year.
That's a lot of visitors. Are we going next year?
No.
What if we got
us and what money?
we got a GoFundMe
us and what passports?
for the CBGPod GoFundMe. Send your favorite.
Yes, all dozen of you, please send us your money and your favorite pretzel toppings.
Well,
Thanks.
check it out. Look, if 12 people each send us $300, we can go. That's only $1. That's less than $1 a day.
So what you're saying is, yesterday at Quail Hollow, I should have just hit up people for money beyond tips, which were nothing.
No, you should have checked for a blank check in the console of the old Doozy. Is what you should have checked for. By the way,
Hey, you can't spell Felix without fix.
That's true. But how is Felix nice in person?
Oh yeah, he's rad.
I figured so. Like you met Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
I've met Allen Iverson twice now, so he's still cool. I can't think of a celebrity I've met that or that any of my friends have met, other than my sister's ex-boyfriend met Aaron Lewis from Stained and said he was a colossal asshole.
What?
Yeah. You had something to say.
Yeah, I need to correct myself because I was half wrong.
Which half?
The right side.
Nah.
Like everything. Bavarian Crown Prince Louis, later Louis of Bavaria, marries Princess Teresa von Sassen. Oh, goodness. Hildburghausen. The Bavarian royalty invited the citizens of Munich to attend festivities held in the fields in front of the city gates. These famous public fields were named Theresienwiese, Teresa's Fields, in honor of the crown princess. Although locals have since abbreviated the name to simply the Wiesen. Horse races in the presence of royal family concluded the popular event, celebrated in varying forms all across Bavaria. The decision to repeat the festivities and the horse races in the subsequent year gave rise to the tradition of the annual Oktoberfest, which now begins in late September and lasts until the first Sunday in October. Alcohol consumption is an important part of the modern festival.
Of course.
Wink. And more than 1 million gallons of beer are consumed annually at Oktoberfest. Which by that means...
A gallon per person.
Yes. Not quite 4 liters. This is Europe.
But that's not bad considering the length of the festival. I mean, you could drink a gallon of beer in a week. You drink a gallon of beer in a day, because we've often done that.
That'd be... Goodness, that'd be 8 of those cans.
Nice. We've done that in a day before, though. I mean, we probably did that at the tasting. There was a lot of consumption at the tasting.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about tuberculosis. Although certain parts up there, you could probably still contract that pretty easily.
Then have to go camp out the Grove Park in like old times.
It's not going to be the same without you.
Too much other shit going on and too little money coming in.
I understand. Well,
irony being that I'll be in the mountains twice right before that, but Asheville and Boone.
What's the occasion?
One part Ian's wedding, one part brother's bachelor party.
Tell me more about venue of one and party at the other.
Asheville Country Club for one, and getting hammered with a bunch of jerks in the woods at the other.
Oh, it's just a camping like
cabin trip.
Oh, cool. What cabin?
And future missus definitely raised a fuss about the finances for bride's and trip, and I'm still not thrilled about that.
What's that?
Off air.
Oh, gotcha. That's all the beer. I didn't know about the Oktoberfest. At least we know the origins of the Oktoberfest now. So now we can get to something else we wanted to talk about.
Looks like you're making your own dental floss using wire.
I just disassembled the. I don't know what you'd call that, but
the wire cage for the beer bottle, because it came with one of those fancy old school pop corks.
That it did.
And it didn't completely champagne on them, so that was nice.
I wonder how crazy the Germans get during Oktoberfest.
Check with Melissa and Will. They went for their honeymoon back 4 years ago.
I can't believe it's been 4 years. Where does the time go, Esteban?
That was funny because that was right before a very dark period for me.
Well,
when I was in between the same job, or at least same place of employment.
Well, you upgraded spouses and you side-graded jobs.
Bullshit, that was a downgrade. It's like, oh good, finally got my first raise in half the time I've been there. But that's too little too late, and the equipment still sucks.
Well, maybe. I don't know where I was going with that. I need to research that new place I was telling you about that was supposed to open up all those fucking jobs. I heard about it on NPR.
What, Carvana?
No car vending machines.
I'm going to become a car vending machine refiller-upper.
Emily was going to ask us if we want something from Jersey Mike's. I'm like, not really.
A quesadilla?
Do they have that?
That's the joke. No.
Is that dinner tonight?
I think Mexican totally would work.
It's totally.
Kalen's not feeling well.
Oh, no, that sucks. It's totally cheap, and it's totally always open. So, Steve and I are going to talk about a band that I admittedly don't know as much as Eric King does, but I cover some of their songs. I'm fully aware of the band's existence, and I know a lot of their catalog. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, Steve, what was your introduction to the Chili Peppers?
Like many in our generation, songs off Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
From the second best year of music.
91?
91. Look how many good albums came out in 91. 10 came out, and Bad Motorfinger came out. Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic came out.
Nevermind, but not Nevermind the Bollocks.
Nevermind came out in 91. I mean, there's a lot of good ones in 91. Chili Peppers are from Los Angeles, California. They are a funk rock band, psychedelic influence, jam band also. Anthony Kiedis and Flea, Chad Smith, and now Josh Klinghoffer. But it used to be John Frusciante. And let me tell you something about John Frusciante.
Dave Navarro was in there somewhere,
Yep.
too.
Navarro was during the One Hot Minute, which was Aeroplane.
I was going to say, I had that CD and played it till it broke.
I hate Aeroplane.
Aeroplane, way overplayed. The song P on that album is dreadful.
Really?
The vegetable, not the action.
Oh, okay. What if you were actioning on the vegetable?
Good aim.
That's the only good part about doing anything to a pea was peeing on it, because I wouldn't eat it unless it's mixed in with something.
Oh, you're not getting your George Carlin flashback? You can never eat just one pea.
No.
Good. It's either 0 or 2.
That's the old the Mitch Hedberg rice. Rice is great. It's great when you're hungry and you want 2,000 of something.
French fries? Onion rings? Chicken wings? Go on.
Well, the Blood Sugar Sex Magic was definitely their biggest album, but they had Freaky Styley, the Uplift Mofo Party Plan.
That's a fantastic name, and I have no idea what the hell is going on with their 80s catalog.
Me either.
Except for their cover of Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground is fantastic.
I need to listen. I still haven't listened to it. I've drank plenty of Higher Ground from Birdsong over the years.
That would be worth a listen, yes.
Hillel Slovak was the original guitarist, and Jack Irons was the original drummer. But Slovak died of a heroin overdose during the Uplift Mofo Party Plan. So John Frusciante joined them, and Chad Smith joined them. So that basically that's the longest. Most of your hits you've heard from the Chili Peppers are
from the 90s.
From that era. But Blood Sugar Sex Magic was produced by Rick Rubin, who produces a lot of different albums. And Rick Rubin is
everywhere.
Interesting. He's a very interesting guy. So, by the way, that's a great album cover from Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Oh, yeah.
The tongue swastikas. That's basically what it looks like. September 24th, 91. We almost got it. We were a week off. But it was, let's see, Rick Rubin. And then
today is October 1st for those listening.
Yep, that's why I went to the Oktoberfest thing, too. Under the Bridge.
September 31st.
Under the Bridge was one of the hits, which was about him and his addiction to heroin. If you didn't know, by the way, that song's not an uplifting song. It's very depressing. Much like the entire 90s catalog of every song you've ever heard. You got...
What, are you saying the band Morphine wasn't happy-go-lucky? They're not. Spoiler alert.
Well, I heard if you listen to them over time, like your pain goes away when you get kind of sleepy. Give It Away was on there, obviously. Suck My Kiss, if you have to ask. And one of my favorite songs to play live, Breaking the Girl. That video is an acid trip. Doesn't he have, like, Princess Leia, like, buns on the side of his...
You said earmuffs awful funny, and I have no recollection of the video.
Well, Frusciante quit during quit on the band during the tour. But... yeah, Blood Sugar Sex Magic was definitely the biggest one of theirs. But then you had the Dave Navarro era, which was right after that, and because Frusciante was like bad on drugs too, and Frusciante's just very strange anyway. Like,
my brother was big into his solo stuff, and like that just never clicked with me.
You either, huh? Well,
I was just glad Mike was finally listening to something other than gangster rap.
We all went through that phase. Frusciante played, Dave Navarro played on One Hot Minute. And then you had, I was trying to figure out, like, Aeroplane was on there. And what were the other big, My Friends was on there. The song Coffee Shop, which I do remember.
That was cool.
Yeah.
We can dance like Iggy Pop.
Shallow Be Thy Name. Shallow Be Thy
Dude, that song's
Game.
fucking insane.
I haven't heard it. But I feel like they never really... accept it. Like most of the time when you have, especially a rabid fan base of fans, but like they never accept the new guy like they should. Like if the new guy's good enough for the rest of the band, he should totally be good enough for you. But although Dave Navarro's not,
Alice in Chains with you much?
well, Dave Navarro's not doing himself any favors by taking that douchey picture of him. So having somebody take a douchey picture of him, but let's see that. Oh, Woodstock '94 was the first show Navarro played live with the Chili Peppers. Talk about no
That's
pressure.
a tall order.
Yeah, to no pressure at all. I have not heard the song Warped.
Yes, you have.
I have.
That song is bonkers McTavish.
I don't know. I can't recall it right now, but the song
I think that was the first single off of it.
No shit.
Yeah, Warp, My Friends, Airplane, Shallow, Coffee Shop. I don't remember Coffee Shop being a single.
It might have been one of those that was
Ostensibly, like also being a year after the album's release, we moved on to the Bush follow-up album by that point.
Well, the Day I Tried to Live was a single from Soundgarden too, and that one.
Heard that one on the radio.
Yeah, not
I remember
much.
Being at a Subway sandwich shop before that got weird with the folks, and that's on the radio, and Dad's like, "This is a really dark song." It's like, you said awesome, awful funny.
It can be both, but why does listening to sad music make you happier? It does me.
Schadenfreude expresses itself in different ways to different people.
Fair enough. After
that said, I should really not listen to Alice in Chains when I'm feeling down.
In a hole.
Also, yes.
After One Hot Minute, you had Californication, which
that was huge,
a humongous album, and Frusciante was back with them. And Californication is probably
Frusciante.
What's that?
I think it might be Frusciante, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, Frusciante came by.
Yeah, Fruit Fly came back. Got it.
Awesome songs on that one. Californication, the song and the album is great, or the song and the video rather. The video to Californication was awesome because it was like a it looked like graphics from
the David Duchovny TV shop. I hated Scar Tissue. I still hate Scar Tissue.
Really?
I never liked that song.
Is there something about it you don't like?
I just found it irritating. I just never liked it.
Well, if you notice in the video, Frusciante's sitting in the back seat playing a fucking broken guitar. Like the neck on it is snapped in half, and he still plays. It's obviously not plugged in, but it's still kind of funny. Other Side always goes over really well when we play that one live, and I really like that one too.
We're playing that one a lot when I felt really down at the end of high school.
Yeah, well, that's high school. You couldn't fucking pay me. If I were to go back to high school, the only thing I would probably bring back with me is an STD. Because I would just fuck anything that laid still. Because looking back, like knowing some of the girls that liked me, or like some, like I was like, no, I want a relationship. I want to. That's fucking stupid. If you're listening to this and you're in high school, put a condom on and fuck anything you want. The end. Have fucking fun. Like,
whoops.
That's what I would do.
I've still had nightmares that didn't make it out.
It's
been 20 years.
Yeah, we had that discussion. But you know what's funny? The only class that the class I did the worst in, I still made an A. But I still have, not nightmares, but I have memories of it where they're like, oh, you to pass, you have to take another semester of English. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Pardon?
Yes.
Individual semesters?
Yeah.
What, are you in college?
I was like, what do you mean I have to take another semester to pass English? Like, you have to take another. I'm like, oh, fucking, but I'm at my age now. So I have to go back to class as a 33-year-old man and like go to English class, which I fucking hated. What does the author feel about this? I don't know. Ask him. Oh, he's dead.
He's been dead 200 years.
Then let's not worry about this and let's get back to shit I'm actually good at, which is numbers. Oh, I mean, I was decent at English. I mean, I still graduated 11th in the class, but didn't do me any good. Look what I'm doing for a living. Well, I won't say it did any good, but it didn't benefit.
Doing well.
See, that's why I like numbers. Words lie, numbers don't. So you hated Scar Tissue.
Yep.
The lyrics, the music,
I
the what?
think the howling. Lonely view.
Anthony Kiedis is not known for having a melodic, beautiful voice, if I'm honest.
Usually it doesn't bother me that much, but that song just always did, and I think that's what it was. I've never had to express what this critic thought as to why he's hated the song for now 20 fucking years.
Around the World was on there, and I liked Around the World.
The Daft Punk song? Easiest lyrics ever.
I don't like Daft Punk. I feel like Daft Punk's one of those bands that it's cool to say you like. I feel like that about Johnny Cash, too. I'm not doubting there's good songs in there, but like saying you like certain bands is considered cool, and then if you say you don't like them, then you're an asshole.
That's why you got to be an adult about it and to say you like Jerry Reed, especially his acting.
Better than Lou Reed. I fucking hate the Velvet Underground. By the way, James Hetfield's back in rehab again for alcohol.
No.
He 12 years
or
or so.
Are you saying that the fact he released his own Stone beer, he might be getting high as his own supply?
Maybe.
It's got to be stronger than pale ale.
Well, I mean, like I was thinking about this the other day on my drive back from Mooresville when I knew I was going to have to work in 2 hours after I got home. But like I consider you like a creative person, and I consider myself as. But is the creative mind never completely satisfied? It seems like that. Like when I find a cool guitar tone I love it. I'm gonna set it and forget it, and then I go, what happens if I do this? What happens if I can't fucking stop? I can't turn that part of my head off. Like if you're a super creative person by nature, you're never completely satisfied with anything. You always think you could do better. No wonder everybody, especially musicians, go nutso. Or not nuts, but they retreat. You know that song "Private Hell" from Alice? No, it's from Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
Wait, I'm doing this wrong. I don't salute privates.
Except
for one chick on Suicide Girls.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
what else was on California Cat? It was Other Side and Around the World, Scar Tissue.
Road Trippin', USA.
Yeah,
that was a nice song.
Which one?
Road Trippin'.
Oh, no, the other one.
Everything else you mentioned.
Oh yeah, Parallel Universe was.
That was a cool one.
Yeah. 7 million in the United States alone, 15 million copies worldwide. Is that bigger than Blood Sugar Sex Magic? It might have been.
I saw that tab open.
It might have been.
Long article. Give me my numbers.
But they were all getting clean at the time. I think might have been some setbacks, but let's get on top.
7X Platinum. Certs US 7 mil. And 100Ks in Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and UK. So about 10 mil for Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Rolling Stone credited Anthony Kiedis for his drastically improved vocals. Vocal cords have apparently been down to some crossroads and over the rehab and returned with heretofore unheard of range, body pitch, soulfulness, and melodic sensibility. A lot of guys don't take care of their voice. Your voice is your instrument. If you're a singer, you better take care of your instrument.
What is this, Eddie Money in his Progressive ad or Geico ad when he just sounded real rough and looked worse?
Well, that it happens. Of course, back when Eddie Money's 80s.
He passed at
70. No, I mean his popularity was mostly 80s.
77 through mid 80s.
So that was still in the era of, hey, make this sound with your voice and hit it every time, and it wasn't always necessarily
or
a healthy way to do it.
Someone still among the living, Meatloaf. is destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, did you listen to
But
much
he was-
Tantric?
The
The band, not the
yeah.
sex maneuvers.
Speaking of Sting,
He sounds like what I imagine the people talking to you when you're on your way to the gates of hell, the chants from either side. That's what it's horrible. Like I can't imagine what you did to your voice to make it sound like that. Because I'm sure the first 5 years of my career as a singer was torching my voice, and now I'm better than I've ever been. I can't imagine what he did. Probably smoking cigarettes didn't help it.
no.
But just warm up, man. Just warm up. That's all you got to do. This is really good. This is one of the really good ones from Sycamore. And the can's even cooler because it looks like a Lisa Frank binder.
That's how you sell me a beer. Yeah, I picked up some local IPAs for future brother-in-law coming to town in a week and a half. Like, I'm sure I could afford to like yoink a few of these out of the collection.
He and Kat, or just he?
He and crew.
Oh, cool.
Him and wife and 2 kids. So
What?
future brother-in-law on Kalen's brother.
I was gonna say Kat.
Not Josh.
Kat says I had 2 kids. I was
No,
like, what?
No. Ryan and Kristen, the folks in Rhode Island I visited 2 months ago, them and their 9 and 7-year-old.
Oh. July 9th, 2002, the Chili Peppers released the album By the Way. By the way, I don't like the song By the Way. I don't hate it as much as you hate Scar Tissue.
It's a totally okay song.
It
was colossal and then just fell off the map.
I despise the Zephyr song.
You want to fly away in your Mercury?
I don't like that song. I do like Can't Stop. Dosed and Universally Speaking, I have heard, but it's been so fucking long, I don't remember it. It was the drinking game, the Chili Peppers drinking games. Anytime they say the word California, you have to take a drink. You'll be dead by the end of the song. But by the way, was big, but not Californication big, and I can't believe that shit came out 17 years ago now. Steve, you ever gotten old before?
Ask my beard. It's turning gray with the question.
Well, after that, there were a couple live, or those are another greatest hits album, and then a live album, and then you had Stadium Arcadium, which was another big one that had Danny California, which I didn't like, and then Hump to Bump and Snow. Remember that?
I like Snow.
Yeah. By the way, listen to the guitar parts in Snow. That's a very difficult guitar line to play for an entire song. For Frusciante's like weirdness and antics, like he's a damn good guitar player. He's just very fucking weird. Danny California, I just don't fucking like that song.
Look at tracks 6, 8, and 10, and just read those titles.
I gotta find it first. Jesus Christ. Fuck you, Wikipedia. I can't. I don't. Okay, there we go.
These are on the Jupiter side, not the Mars side.
Joe, save this lady.
What?
Wait.
On Stadium Arcadium?
Oh no, I'm on. I'm on Stadium Arcadium. Okay, torture me, strip my mind, especially in Michigan.
That was 9 instead of 8, but whatever.
Yeah,
still works. And then read 12.
Come on, girl. I didn't realize there were so many songs on this shit.
I had no recollection of the double.
I had no idea. Desecration Smile.
Oh wait, this is 06. This was at the early height of my eye patch powers.
On Mars, number 11, Storm in a Teacup. Then 14 was Death of a Martian.
Instead of Tempest.
Yes. Tempest. Wasn't that a...
Shakespeare.
Yeah, there we go. Road tripping.
Pontiac. Ever see my cousin Vinny, the Pontiac Tempest?
Yugoslavia.
What a country.
Yeah. Well, you can ask Samir about that. I was like, Samir, are there any obese people in Bosnia? He goes, fuck no, they're not. Everybody's fighting for the same food. So there's a lot of new stuff, but I kind of wanted to cover some of the old stuff too. But I kind of dig the early. I mean, we really hate to sound like hipsters, but I kind of dig the early stuff better. I do like the middle stuff, but like the brand new stuff, I cannot get into the brand new Chili Pepper stuff like that. Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie, and
I'm looking at these last ones, like nothing
ringing a bell.
Rings a bell. No,
not at all. No. But let's see. I think my intro to them was the video to give it away, and I'm like, this is different. And you know that solo, by the way, is played backwards.
Okay.
That's yeah. It's they played the solo. It's not duplicatable live, but they played this. Frusciante played the solo, and then they just reversed it because Rick Rubin produced the album, and
he's got magic powers with everybody.
Rick Rubin's very strange, like very strange. Like he produced. Didn't Rick Rubin produce Saint Anger?
It's only recently
he did Death Magnetic.
It's only recently I have a clue who produced what. Because like, if you're not playing on the album or if you're not the lead singer, I don't know who the hell you are. No, only recently have I gotten a few names there, and that's still...
Except Jerry you know who Jerry Cantrell is.
Yeah, because also he's, sang and guitared for the Alice in the Chain Gang.
And wrote all the songs.
Yeah. So what I showed AJ is the cover of Kyle Kinane's comedy album with the best title ever. I liked his old stuff better. Somewhere I made a face post that was... I liked his old stuff better. I'm sorry you feel that way. It was I think a Bill Burr.
Yes. That's what I tell people at work when they say something about like my produce. Like, this is too small. Sorry you feel that way. I don't say, sorry, is there anything I can do to help you now? I just tell them, sorry you feel that way. That makes, that's like a shot at them. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, but it's fucking wrong, and it's all by the pound, so it doesn't matter what size.
Or just tell them Yodem. YODM. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm thinking about Dwight Yodem. Oh, that's yeah, Dwight. I said Dwight instead of Dwight. Dwight Yodem. It's his evil twin. But. King loves chili. We should have had Eric King on as a guest and talk about Chili Peppers because he drools all over them. Which I have my bands I do that with.
What's his stance on Faith No More? Because those bands used to feud.
They did.
Yes.
You want to tell everybody about that while I get us the next beer?
Something akin to during the height of Faith No More's powers in the early '90s that they were competing funk rock bands, and never mind. Faith No More had been around about as long and were from San Fran, not L.A., they were making things huge, particularly off The Real Thing, that they've got this crazy rap metal thing right before Red Hot Chili Peppers made it huge with Blood Sugar Sex Magic. It was like, I just keep wanting to call it BDSM. It's like, well, that's not it.
BSSM.
Close enough.
Steve, I got something I've never seen before. We're going to end with this one. Have you had that one before?
The White Russian, no. Left Hand Nitro.
It's good. This seems and smells very interesting. I'm going to pour it. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before we drink it.
Cool.
Going to be pretty readily apparent what it smells like.
I had another comedy album title in that string, and I can't find that post now.
Go ahead and pick that up and smell it and see what you smell.
Coffee, more coffee.
Sweetwater 420 strain, Chocolope Stout.
Sorry, what?
The
Is that what we're now calling Easter bunnies with antlers? It's a
Chocolope. The 420 strain
You'll never catch me.
is back in black with a chocolatey, stout, and a head-turning aroma. Our unholy trinity of hops, strain-specific terpenes, which is from 420, and hemp-type flavors complement a roasty malt backbone, resulting in a dreamy medley of mouth-watering flavors. Tropical fruit on the inhale, coffee on the exhale, gooey chocolate all the way through. A strange new strain indeed. Sweetwater 420 strain with the blackfish on the front.
Yeah, looks like the one from the G13 that was that vile Sweetwater can.
Ugh. Well, cheers to some chocolate weed.
Chocolate weed. Chocolate weed. Don't remember the rest of the words to the song that I need.
That is good. I think we just found the
All right, so what we're saying is I got to add Hershey syrup to that vile beer, and
Yes.
that fixes everything. Like, all right, we're going to call this the pot brownie.
That is great. That's a great pot brownie.
Takes the edge off.
It does. Like, who knew? So here's a tip from
Here's
us.
a top gear top tip from the CBGPod. Pay no mind to a bunch of letters and numbers except for what we're about to tell you.
Mm-hmm. No, thanks,
So tell
Andrew Dice Clay. Little boy blue.
He needed the money.
Oh! Look, rockabye baby on the treetop. Your mother's a whore. I ain't your pop. Oy. My mom, they wouldn't let me watch his specials, but they would let me watch like George Carlin's stuff too. I guess my parents wanted me to be woke, not stupid. Woke and Not Stupid would be another great comedy album. That would be a great comedy album. Have you listened to much of Duncan Trussell's stuff?
I heard him on Rogan a few times, and I just found him irritating.
Fair enough. He was on Dr. Drew, and it was...
But I'm just wondering, how the fuck did you date Natasha Leggero back in the day?
Oh my God, she's so fucking hot. But you know who she's dating now?
Married to Moshe Kasher.
Married to Moshe. I didn't know they were married.
It is of, none of my concern, but way to go, dude.
Well, listening to...
They actually toured together. Like, he'd go up, she'd go up, and they'd both go up, or like some reversal of said roles.
I think we should do our own like diet brand of bumping mics and go do comedy like as a duet.
Trouble is, I can't write jokes. I steal jokes to post on Facebook.
You can. You
This
just
looks
have
funny.
to. You just.
Usually it's always situational, though. Like, hey, we're talking about blah, and blah, blah. It's not like, hey, give me a topic.
We can improv. We'll just do improv.
For some reason, this only seems to work at bar top tables.
That's the idea. Maybe people are just going to pay money to see us sit down and drink beer. I mean, in theory, that sounds like a great business plan. However,
In actuality, this camera looks a lot like an expensive guitar.
which one?
The blue one's most centrist there.
Well, only one of them actually makes me any money.
Yeah. It's just funny. I was like, hey, keep collecting them.
I put 4 hangers up on the wall, and I've kind of promised myself I would only have 4 at a time. The base is not going anywhere.
Well, otherwise, you're going to have a tough time fitting 5 in with the cabinet there if you want to keep everything looking the way it does. Got a little bit of wall patch there from its previous iteration.
Oh, no, that was there before I made that. I just haven't taken it out of the wall yet. I've added a lot of holes to the wall, so I'm taking the loss on that for now.
And not one is fist size or forehead size, so that's nice.
Correct. Well, I'm thinking about putting like one, like a stained 2x4 across, and then putting my guitar hangers on that, and then I can kind of move that around more if I were to get. But I like ideally, I'd like to have two acoustics, 2 electrics, and a bass. So I'm 1 acoustic short of that right now. But I don't need 2 acoustics. I mean, technically, I don't need 2 electrics either. But
It looks nice.
it does. I'm probably going to start after the first of the year putting full band stuff together again. Now that I have a cabinet that doesn't weigh half as much as the moon, only a quarter. Well, it's 40 pounds less, and that 40 pounds goes a long way. I mean, 115 pounds versus 75 pounds. That's pretty substantial.
That makes it $60 fewer American, right?
Yeah. Well, it also has the same wheels on it, so I only have to pick it up like to get it A, out of the Jeep, and then B, and like upstairs or whatever, and then I can just roll it the rest of the way. So I'm still young enough to carry 75 pounds. Steve, we have gone.
I think it's a matter of your back hasn't decided that's a really poor idea. Otherwise, that's going to live downstairs all the time.
Correct. Or I'm going to have some kind of elaborate pulley system, or I'll ride it down the stairs.
Just get an elevator.
I'll make the cats do
the
it.
cats will love it.
Cairo would love it. Coco would not care, and Zara would be afraid of it. That sound about right?
Yeah.
We've went through every topic I had written down. We always do that, and well, it's been an hour and a half, but
it's almost Jeopardy time.
Emily doesn't like watching Jeopardy, and I love watching Jeopardy.
Not enough people getting murdered. That's why.
Maybe we need to have like cutthroat murder Jeopardy, where if you get the question wrong, you get killed.
And yet that guy still lost. James Holzhauer.
Oh,
the dude that kept like going at like the high money questions.
Yes.
And how'd he lose? By not gambling enough on the last question 20 rounds in.
Didn't somebody do the calculation on like how much money it would be possible to win on Jeopardy?
Yeah, if like your daily doubles were placed at the highest or
lowest
spots to make the highest money once you cleared everything else out.
Mm-hmm. Which would be basically impossible because they never do the daily doubles.
Right. I think at least at the 400 range then. So
right.
Adjust that for deflation.
I shared that to Emily as well. I was like, air used to be free at gas stations. Now they charge money for it. You know why?
Inflation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that one pop back up.
That's always a good one. Well, Steve, you got any news for us or any topics for us before we close it out? Or was it going to be a quick episode?
Got the new Zelda on the Switch, and that'll be of no interest to you.
I was going to say, do you want to hear a confession?
I keep getting all these games like on the Switch or on the Pi or whatever. Like, no time to play them, but hey, I've got them.
The confession time for me is I've never played a Zelda game. Not once.
I could recommend a few that you already have in your possession.
Yeah, I got them downstairs. I assume Legend of Zelda, the OG.
The OG, the second, the Super Nintendo one, the 3 on the Game Boy and or Color, the one on the Advance. I don't know if you've got the satellite one yet that plays much like the original Zelda, but with Super Nintendo graphics. You've got a few options to go swing swords at stuff, or games similar to it like Crystallis.
Is that a meth strain?
Methstallis. All the above.
I have never played that. I've also never played an N64. The controller always looked weird.
Yeah. Well, you could. The people go on and on about the 64. Like, there are very few good games on that system.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
it was early 3D, and now at this point in the future, like, well, the PS2 still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
64 does not.
I'm shocked at how good the graphics are on GT3. Like, legitimately shocked that this game
is now
as near as makes no difference
02?
20 fucking years ago.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so I'm getting close to 100% completion. Then I'm not starting GT4. I'm not starting GT4 until but I've made peace with the fact that GT4 has a 24-hour endurance race, a Le Mans 24 hours race on it.
It's okay. There's a pause button.
I know, yeah, but you can't you can't save it. You have to.
Yeah, you just truck all the way through. So you put your hard tires on and go.
Is it bad to leave that paused?
if it hasn't broken now after 14 years since I bought it, maybe it won't ever. I don't care what you do to it.
Playing with house money at this point, yeah.
It's sat for 5 years. Do whatever you want with it. Maybe don't microwave it. Maybe don't leave it in direct sunlight. But if you leave it old school Nintendo paused,
yeah,
I really don't care. I know where to find more. It doesn't matter.
I'm using a plasma TV as a screen, so all I got to do is just turn the TV off and pause it.
Don't trash the TV, and never mind, you can replace that thing for $100 with superior technology. But yeah, don't leave that running. But the PS2, at any point, can you hear it? Ostensibly, there's a fan in there to keep it chilled out.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming it's not breathing hard, I really don't care what you're doing to this. Like, I have no intent on getting that thing back. I haven't played it this long, so why start now?
So what if I just, like, when I leave it on pause for an extended period of time, I'll just bring my fan up here and I'll just put the fan on it and keep it cool.
Whatever you want.
Exactly. Or, you know what? I'll just man up and then I'll just do a bunch of fucking Coke and I'll just play a 24-hour race nonstop until I'm done with it.
It's Coca-Cola for those listening.
Diet Coke.
You're gonna do sweet and low? It's one of my dad's favorite jokes.
Yes.
You hear about the guy that got busted snorting sweet and low in Winston-Salem last week? He thought it was Diet Coke.
That sounds like a very
Bob
Nix joke. Yakov Smirnov had a joke on Dr. Drew's podcast, and it was because he grew up in Odessa, which was in the Soviet Union. It was in Ukraine, in Soviet Union, and his joke that he usually opened with when he came to America was buying a car. Buying a car was very hard back in the Soviet Union. It was often several years before you got approved before you could go pick it up. So my father got approved for buying the car, and they said, okay, you can pick it up in 20 years. And my dad goes, well, is that in the morning or the afternoon? And the guy goes, what the hell does it matter? It's in 20 years. He goes, well, the cable man's going to be here that day, too.
This just in, Jim Brewer's on the Bertcast.
Oh, no. By the way, like, have you listened to any of the Two Bears in One Cave? It's so great because all Tom tries to do is get Bert to say or do something stupid, and Bert always takes the bait. But it's like Bert's like one of us. He's just a silly, loudmouth guy. He has no. It's so weird because I know guys like him in high school where they just thought that they could do anything and they were shit at everything, but they had so much confidence that it just didn't matter, and it was always funny.
Be the Florida man you wish to see in the world.
He is Florida trash, like through and through. But his old lady is just that classic Southern belle.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Hair and hair talk is just the most precious thing ever, man.
Isn't it though? She's like the most just like a non-judgmental Southern belle. But I will say I enjoy Bert's appearances on podcasts. I don't enjoy his comedy specials that much.
You just need the audio rip so you don't have to watch him shirtless, by the way.
Woof. But like Tom, I love Tom's comedy, but I can't get into Bert's comedy that much.
Prior to Gray moving to the house in Bumstick, Steel Creek, we were flipping through his Netflix trying to find something to watch.
Yeah.
And then landed on Segura because I'd seen that name just 4 years ago, but saw that name in the podcastosphere to, maybe this guy's funny. Oh, that freaking delivered.
Oh, yeah. I think
it was that and the Tom Rhodes special when he made a joke about a buddy of his he was really worried about. Guys, it's like, dude, I can't take it anymore. Like, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to kill myself. But how is he going to do it? I think I was going to jump off a bridge. Oh, he posted this on Facebook. So I poked him.
You're saying I need to check this person out.
Since then, Tom Rhodes is divorced, so he's
Oh.
really gotten bummed out about that.
That would probably be easy to get bummed out over.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I need to check out some of Brad Williams's stuff too. Have you checked out any of his?
I've seen him on pods here and there, and About Last Night pod, he's on that too.
Gotcha.
They've got some good guests on that one.
Understood. His This Is Not Happening, where they thought he was Wee Man. It's like, I'm not Wee Man. Like, we don't all look the same. But he said his dad used to like give him shit all the time about everything.
Paul Williams, musician.
It was like
You and Connecting What, Rainbow Boy?
Well, he said it helped him deal with bullying because his dad would give him the same shit. So it's like, you're going to be listening to these jokes forever. You need to be thinking of quick comebacks. But evidently, Brad Williams has a normal size half Chinese wife. I've got one of those.
So what you're saying is she's short too.
Babe, she's still taller than he is. Still much taller than he is. I think I broke my pen, Steve. I've been trying to fix it while I'm talking to you.
Saves me from saying it. It's like, I was thinking you're just getting really fidgety now.
No. I was trying to fix the pen that I clearly. No, this thing's fucked.
It could be worse. It could be leaking.
Well, that's true. I've already spilled one liquid on on this tonight, and unfortunately, it's not from Cytheria.
Rower.
So, then we should crack this one open next.
Yes, let's.
All right, you haven't had this one. The dude has not abided with you.
So what we have here is the Left Hand Brewing White Russian Stout with coffee and vanilla added. Nitro.
That's an American Gladiator, isn't it?
One of the many.
Come here, you fucking fucker.
They do not have much to say about this one.
It's fucking delicious.
Good enough. 8.9 ABV. Ingredients: Rocky Mountain water and/or spotted fever and/or oysters, malted barley, flaked oats, lactose, coffee, hops, vanilla, and yeast. Stout with coffee and vanilla added.
Rocky Mountain spotted oysters. Is that when you get a tick on the balls before? Oh, I hit it. Fuck yes. Oh, that was a good one.
He did that as this is making funny nitro noises.
That was definitely on American Gladiator.
Oh, wait, if I want to hear it, I better put up the mic instead of my ear with that
Maybe.
giant earmuff on.
God, we went from pot to The Dude Abides. By the way, the sequel to The Big Lebowski is a go.
Jesus rolls.
Yep. And you don't fuck with him.
Says you.
I'm glad they're doing.
I would hate to underestimate his sneakiness because Mr. Deeds was trash.
Oh.
I didn't like that movie.
Mr. Deeds.
John Turturro being the butler of Mr. Deeds. Like Adam Sandler gets a bunch of money, and here's his bunch of dumb things he does with a bunch of money.
Yeah, I never saw Mr. Deeds. I think the last Adam Sandler movie I saw, and I enjoyed it immensely, was Spanglish.
I would say like better be that or something with Jennifer Aniston in it.
Click.
No.
Click was Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah. Yes to her, no to Click.
Yeah.
Like they could have done so much more of this movie, and it's like I didn't like it.
Trash.
It's just the running gag of like modern Sandler movies not being good.
Spanglish was awesome.
Okay.
Have you not seen Spanglish?
Mi español es no bueno, señor.
Spanglish is actively a good movie, and like Adam Sandler doesn't get any credit for being a good actor, but in that he doesn't play Adam Sandler in it, which is kind of the argument for like movies with like Seth Rogen and like they play.
So your gateway drug into Will Ferrell is going to be Stranger Than Fiction.
I guess it's going to have to be because I'm not a big. Oh yeah, I didn't cheers you.
Katink.
You like it?
Postponed, and yes. That said, you still need to see Talladega Nights because that's the funniest shit ever.
I'm strictly opposed to it, but I'll take your word for it.
It had the amazing ability to make fun of and embrace NASCAR fans at the same time.
Because, yeah, it's not the sport. It's not the sport of NASCAR that bothers me. It is totally the fans. Like, if you've never been to a NASCAR track, you do not understand what the embankment is like. It is all left turns, but it's left turns on an embankment that's hard to walk on.
Years ago, family trip to Florida. Coming back, we stopped by Daytona and its Speedway, and you can take a tour in a 15-passenger van of the track itself. So he gets the van going as fast as it can and then takes that embankment. I think I lost a few fingernails in the upholstery that day.
Yeah. It's left turn, but it's fast. And the brakes, I don't know if you've seen NASCAR brakes, but
are they of generous proportion?
No, they are not, Steve.
Oh, dear.
They are tiny. They are the size of, like, Smarties. But they are stick shift cars. All NASCARs are sticks. Like, they're high horse.
Still carbureted too, right?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, like the running thing for years and years, like different tracks had different restrictor plates, so the car can only have yay much air go through to achieve yay much speed.
Yeah.
So in theory, everything comes out about the same.
Yep. It is not as easy as people make it out. I would love to see somebody shitting on it, like, oh, that shit's it. Get in there.
You try it. These cars are not air conditioned, by the way.
They are not. They're very hot.
And it's, summertime activity.
Yep.
The event yesterday was for Jimmy Johnson's foundation. No, not the guy that goes around killing rhinos. Like, dude, if you're going to go kill rhinos, then sell me a rhino meat sandwich, jackass.
with chopsticks made out of the horn. How's that beer coming out of your nose?
Smells even better that way.
And not the Jimmy Johnson that won Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys either. But I've never. You met Ron Rivera. You've met a lot of cool people doing old valet gigs.
A little here and there.
Yeah. Whereas
probably the biggest flub was meeting Sinbad and totally drawing a blank. It's like, I recognize you. Like, what name would you like with this car, sir? Like, oh, Sinbad's good.
That's it.
Shazam the U2. Or Kazam, whatever your movie was.
That's actually, he was never in a movie like that. That's one of those... Kazam was Shaquille O'Neal. He wasn't in some sort of, like, kitty genie movie. I think that's Mandela effecty. A lot of people think he was, but I don't think he ever was. Now, I want you to look it up because now I don't want to be Mandela affected to my Mandela effect. If you don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's something that you have heard to be true for years and years, and you find out was not true.
Or now it finally is because now he's dead.
Yeah, even though Sinbad's still alive. I'm ready to see Steve's expression when he finds out this information. But Sinbad has some good comedies. But he was one of the clean comics back in the day. He didn't swear, but his comedy was very entertaining. Man, this is the time we need to have like a live feed.
Yes. Just pause the recording here to.
I will not.
Let's look for the dead air.
I'm letting it burn through. I'm gonna let it burn through, Steve. It's just easier that way. I gotta write this down anyway. I mean, I could timestamp it, but ain't nobody got time for that. Actually, I do have time for that. All I'm gonna do tomorrow is go to work and then edit the podcast, release it, and then play guitar. Got to go to the in-laws. Father-in-law's birthday. He will be 70 years old, going on 50. Saturday. So it's a big celebration extravaganza. Couldn't find the movie.
No, but apparently other people were thinking that he partook in the same movie.
And it never existed.
No Shazam. There was Kazam with Shaquille. It was Kazam, not Shazam for him. Not to be confused with the Shazam that came out lately when it's big, the movie as superhero.
Yep.
So
isn't that funny? Because I had no recollection of it.
I know. I'll be wrong again.
Look, there's the first time for Steve. This is the first time Steve's been wrong since January 9th of 1998. But it does happen. It's just very rare. What were you doing in 1998?
See that time, 98.
You could watch a rated R movie by yourself.
Yeah, I would have had. Well, that early on though, I would be licensed for 6 weeks. So by then, I would have slide tackled my neighbor's mailbox, gotten the Volvo stuck in like an icy street a week before that. Yeah, the first month with the driver's license was entertaining.
It definitely sounds like it. I did back my white Conquest up into my Accord at one point. But I don't miss. Do you miss any of the cars you've previously had? For whatever
I could take or leave the first Volvo, the 740. Mm-hmm. The 89 GTI was entertaining, but finicky even at only 12 years old. And now it's funny to see those are classics at 30.
Yeah. Well, I think you can get the classic plates in North Carolina if it's, 25 years old?
I've checked and I didn't see such a thing in this state.
I think it's 25, which means in 2022 I'll be able to get them for the Jeep, which would be hilarious.
It should be like one of those license plates with the carriage on it. It's like, how old do we want to make these things?
Well, look, I mean, it has the same technology in it as the carriage does. But I missed that.
Did you remember Feed the Horse?
No.
You better go take care of that pretty soon. He's getting hungry.
I have a low mileage horse. We don't drive it that much. I don't miss there's parts of it of vehicles.
Probably first Volvo, not second Volvo. First GTI, not second GTI. Camry, take it or leave it. First Tacoma for just the sheer indestructibility, but not second Tacoma. Maybe I missed the vibe, maybe not. It's like it's been a completely decent runabout, and there are other cars doing the same thing that are a little newer and a little less noisy.
But not as high revving.
No. But at 260,000 miles, neither is it.
I don't think I've actually ever redlined the Jeep. I've gotten it to close, but I don't have the stones to. I'm pretty sure it's on its original everything, and I don't want to. If I'm goosing it, I'll get it up to about $4,000.
Yeah,
but it redlines at
same here.
5,100. So,
and I think first Tacoma had a red line below 6K as well for its 2.4 motor. That said, if I had a spare $3,000, there's a lovely T100 for sale right now.
Where?
Within 200 miles of here. I don't remember where, but it's a 96 4-cylinder T100 with camper shell, roof racks on said camper shell, $3,000.
How many miles?
I think $156 on it.
So it's brand new.
They are never that low mileage.
I might just buy it on principle and then have you pay me in monthly installments of $1 for the next 3,000 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be 10. For only $10 a day, you'll buy this truck for me.
You just promised me your friendship, and
so good so far. This would be funny as shit to get a T100 because that's about the biggest car I can find that still has a 4-cylinder in it.
That's true.
What
size engine?
2.7.
That's big.
A massive 4-cylinder, but in theory, it's at least a mid-90s full-size pickup that can get 25 miles to the gallon in it.
Because it weighs nothing.
Yeah, it's 3,000 pounds.
Well, the 911,
I think it's an inch wider than a second-gen Tacoma.
the 944 Porsche had a 3-liter four-cylinder.
No, the 968 did. That
968
was
did.
the Bug Eye 944. That it was like, it looks sort of like a 911, but it'll never go as fast. And like, at least the 944 had a turbo.
Yes.
968 never did.
So that's the biggest. And then the smallest V6 was what? The Mazda
MX-3 with a 1.8.
1.8
A
V6.
V6 the size of my cars, but I actually got to drive one of those at the Greensboro Airport.
Probably pretty entertaining.
Yes. That's going to be a very difficult thing to come by now, but Mazda CRX is basically what that car was.
And then the biggest V6 that I can think of is the 4.3-liter Vortec that I can just, without looking it up. That's the biggest one I can think of.
I want to think there was a 4.5, but I've been wrong before.
Or any,
and
like,
I think
inline.
like one, like biggest 6-cylinder altogether. Or less a Land Cruiser 6s, like a 4.2. I keep thinking I might have a 4.5.
No, the Land Cruiser. I was thinking something else.
Landrova.
The smallest
like
V8 I can think of is from the F40, was a 2.9-liter V8.
But that was early force induction as well, so then it goes from fast to bonkers at the break of your neck.
So I've resorted to Google the largest 6-cylinder engine.
Automotive. Instead of like, yeah, here's a 6-cylinder engine that's using a diesel ship.
GMC Trucks produced a unique 60-degree V6 engine from 1959 to 1974 in gas and diesel versions. The V6 engines were produced in 7.8 liters.
Goodness.
Holy hell. You could go 5, 5.8, 6.6, or 7.8 liter. Wow. That's incredible. The largest engine derived from the series was a 702 cubic inch twin 6 V12, 11.5 liters.
Holy shit.
Oh my goodness. These GMC V6 engines were noted for durability, ease of maintenance, and strong low-end torque. Yeah, you think so? Jesus Christ.
To outpace the biggest fours, the Pontiac Tempest of the mid-60s had a 3.2-liter four-cylinder.
Jesus.
And then what I imagine is from before 1920, Fiat S76 with a 28-liter four-cylinder. That's right. Each of your cylinders is almost 2 gallons.
God damn, that's like hubcap size cylinders. Pistons.
I
rather.
think these would be pony keg size cylinders.
Pony keg pistons. An even better band name, the Pony Keg Pistons. Oh my goodness, that's fucking huge.
I think that's how you get through a Detroit Pistons game.
You would have to.
Gigs.
Yes. Oh no, Blake Griffin plays for the Pistons now. So the Vanilla Gorilla. I'm in the mood for some Mexican food. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, even though I had Tex-Mex for lunch.
Why not both?
I like the way you think, Steve.
If I do think at all.
You said October's going to be tricky for you, so
October's going to be screwed.
Well, we can screw. Columbus Day is on the 14th, which is a Monday, which is unfortunate. We should have done it's too bad it wasn't on a Tuesday. We could have done a fuck you Columbus.
I'm going to tentatively say Wednesday the 16th for next one.
Okay.
Because that's going to be right in between Rhode Island crew leaving and then me going to Asheville.
That's right. Okay.
That's about the only possible day.
Tuesday will be valet, probably.
Tuesdays their last full day here.
Oh, that's okay. It's Wednesday's the overlap day.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wednesday it is then.
Like middle of the month, I don't have valet time, so good news, don't have that. Bad news, don't have the money. Or worse news, sometime between now and the 14th, we're supposed to get hammered at print shop. So, not looking forward to that.
Not the good kind of hammered.
Just, hey, here's more work. Show up, do more work. Good news, overtime now at a handsome ransom, but still.
Sure, yeah. They're pretty stingy with that at my place of employment.
They often are with mine too.
Well,
except when they make it mandatory because hey, it's quarter end, and hey, go do a thing.
Yeah.
Can we just run out of paper again?
This should have been episode Vortec. 4-3.
It's not too late.
To whip it.
Whip it good.
I've been AJ.
I'm still Steve.
Time for Mexican food. We'll see you in episode 44, maybe with a guest, maybe not, on a Wednesday. Steve, got any parting words for the people?
4.3
Later.
Who the hell's on my phone?